Hi, it's Alaska Granny. I've been cleaning out my freezer, and it's a great time of year to get out the salmon that's still deep down in there and smoke it. This salmon was caught last year, and so it's at the end of the season where we're getting ready to go catch some more, put fresh meat in the freezer, and so this isn't going to be ideal. It may be freezer burn, and just fish doesn't last to the top quality for very long. You should eat it sooner rather than later. But we never want to waste anything that we've caught or purchased. So when I have fresh salmon, I like to dry brine it, but since this salmon has been in the freezer, I'm going to use a wet brine on it. A wet brine can really help enhance your meat that may have started to deteriorate a little bit in your freezer. Smoking is also a great way to use up your end of the season salmon. To make a wet brine, you only need a few simple ingredients. For every 4 pounds of salmon, you need 1 gallon of cold water, 1.5 cups of salt. Be sure you use sea salt, kosher salt. Don't use iodized salt because it has additives that can actually interfere with the flavor of your salmon. And 1/2 cup of brown sugar. To get your brine going, you want to boil a quart of water, add your salt and your brown sugar, and dissolve it. Now you want to add it to the cool water, and you want to chill the whole thing. Once your salmon is completely thawed out, cut it up into the strips the size that you like, place it into the brine water, allow it to brine for a few hours or even overnight. When the brining is done, you want to remove your fish, give it a quick rinse, and lay it out on racks to dry. You want to let the skin side down, the meat side up, and you want to let it dry out a little bit until the surface of the fish gets a little like a sheen on it that's called the pellicle. The fish isn't ready to go into the smoker until it has the pellicle. After about 2 hours, the surface of the salmon should develop a pellicle. It becomes shiny and tacky, which means that it's ready to absorb the smoke. Don't put your salmon in the smoker until you've allowed it to develop the pellicle on the surface. It's time to prepare your smoker. For easy cleanup, I like to lay out a large piece of foil on the ground under the front of the smoker so that any drips will be caught on the foil and not all over the ground. Then I cover the drip tray that goes in the bottom of the smoker with foil. And I replace the water tray with a disposable aluminum pan. I'm using alder, which works great with salmon. Use the chips that you most enjoy the flavor or the chips that you have on hand. I've pre-soaked my chips for about 30 minutes. Now I'm going to fill up the wood chip tray, slide it in, then it's time to close up your smoker and set it. I'm going to set it at about 3 hours at 200 degrees Fahrenheit. It's kind of hard to see the controls in this bright sunshine, so you want to press set temperature and toggle up, and then press it again. Then you want to press set time, toggle to the time you want, and then press set time again, then make sure the red light goes on that it's heating. I'm going to cook this for about an hour, so I'm going to set my timer for 3 so it has time to heat up and continue just in case that isn't enough time, and I'm going to smoke it at 200 degrees. You should see a good smoke. If you want to add more chips during the smoking time, use the chip loading tray on the side. Pull it out, load in your chips, reinsert it, and twist it so that the chips drop down into the smoker tray. My salmon's been smoking about 45 minutes. I took a little piece out. It looks tender, flaky, and it's done. So now I've got a big piece, and look at this. It's tender, it's flaky, it's moist, yummy. Let's try it. This is great. This is delicious. If you have some salmon that's in your freezer and it's been there for a while, try wet brining it to add back some of the moisture, the texture, and the flavor. It'll enhance the flavors of your salmon, and it'll really turn out great. Try it. Let me know how it works for you. Learn more at alaskagranny.com. Please subscribe to the Alaska Granny channel.